It is 6 o'clock. We'll call the Sartell City Council meeting for Monday, October 9th to order. Please rise for Pledge of Allegiance. It is 6 o'clock. We'll call the Sartell City Council meeting for Monday,
That's gonna get
October
really
9th to order. Please rise for Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Think we're good? Sounds good. Council, next item on our agenda is the agenda review and adoption. I would take a motion. I apologize. We do have an amended agenda with item 6C, which everyone has in front of you, which pertains to police vehicle order.
I'll make a motion to approve with the amended 6C.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve with the amended agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Open forum public comment. We have two registered tonight. Peter Wilson, don't see that he's present. And second one is Alex Erdman. Alex, I'll invite you to step forward. The way our open forum is set up is that you have 3 minutes to share what you desire with the council.
Okay.
And at that time, the council can have staff follow up. Seeing your topic here, there's probably a lot of follow-up to happen, so.
Okay.
State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Alex Uderman. Address is 2611 17th Street North, Sartell. I'm a fifth generation farmer here in Sartell. It's me, my dad, my wife, and my younger brother. So we just received a Century Farm Award from the St. Cloud Diocese, so we're pretty proud about that. And we've been in, Sartell's been our roots for a long time, and we farm majority, a good chunk of the ground in Sartell, just Flossie Heim Farm where the new roundabout is, and a lot of fur cheese ground, and Phyllis Sen's farm, Lee Crookton Farm, and Jerome Then Farm, all that stuff down by Perkins and the medical groups, and then we got some stuff up by the river road by the upper deck, and so our roots are in Sartell. We're here to stay, and I mean we've been here for 100 years, and we sell some of our beef direct to the public, so we have an open source to the community here where we try to get more involved, and our farm is very conservation minded, and we are in a bunch of conservation programs. We're in the CSP program, it's Conservation Stewardship Program, where we practice no-till and cover cropping on all our acres now, and so you see us in our fields, there's a lot of residue where we plant right into cover crops, which is a good thing to do, and we're also Minnesota Water Quality Certified, and I'm currently working on getting the 5 other endorsements from the state of Minnesota, which would be Climate Smart, Integrated Pest Management, Wildlife, Soil Health, and Irrigation. We also have a solar garden just north of the upper deck on our property, and we also just restored 100 acres of wetland just east or west of Baker's Lake. So with everything I've been just trying to tell you, we're just very conservation minded with the soil and the land and our cattle. I kind of had an idea of partnering with with the city here if there's some way we can get our farm involved with the compost site to utilize that densely rich nutrients of the compost and spread that on our fields to kind of reduce more chemical and herbicide applications from the co-op, and cleaner water, cleaner air, less erosion. It's store more carbon in the soil, just make Sartell a little bit more greener, and try to utilize the nutrients that were in Sartell, and let's keep them in Sartell instead of shipping them off. I don't know what you guys' deal is with compost right now, so I'm just here kind of a open book, shot in the dark, see if we can work some together, and would just like to maybe create a new partnership with Sartell and our farm and see if we can utilize the compost a bit better, and if we can maybe bring some of our manure down there, and which would be a higher nitrogen source to get the compost curing faster, and I know I could utilize those wood chips there too and I don't want to bore you guys to death with the soil health stuff, but the wood chips and the leaves and the stuff, that's like a huge high fungal matter, which I'm trying to get after, is get more fungal bacteria and back into the soil, and those wood chips and the leaves would be an awesome source to get if we could work some out. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and maybe that's something we can have staff follow up. I see you left an email here, and we'll pass it on to staff to engage you and maybe bring it back to council in a workshop to see if there's something that can be had.
All right, appreciate it.
Great
Thank
idea,
you.
thank you.
Ryan, is there a phone number on there?
No, but if,
Can you, yeah, if you wouldn't mind,
I can write it down.
I got his phone number. I got it.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you. Council not seeing, the next person signed up for open forum. We'll move forward in the agenda to approval of city council minutes. We have the September 25th regular council meeting. I'll take a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the September 25th regular city council minutes. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. On to consent agenda. We have 4 items on consent agenda, A through D, with item C being the updated item. Take a motion to approve A through D, or one to be pulled.
I'll make a motion to approve A through D.
We have a motion to approve A through D. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. We have 2 public hearings tonight. The first one is on the rezone preliminary and final plat of O2B childcare.
Thank you and good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Tonight, we're looking at the rezone preliminary and final plat applications that were submitted. Previous review, specific to this parcel, we approved the annexation of the parcel identified there, as well as the 2 parcels across Leander in a combined annexation on August 14th. We then also approved a community grant request to help cover development fees for the highlighted parcel up to $22,000 on August 14th of this year. This preliminary plat, final plat, and rezone were brought to Planning Commission this month, and they approved the rezone with no conditions, and then approved the preliminary and final plat contingent upon addressing staff comments that we have remaining. The applicant is proposing rezoning this from our residential currently, as it follows our orderly annexation agreement. It comes in as residential, and then it's upon them to rezone according to the future land use. This parcel is dictated to be our B3 medical professional district, so it does follow our future land use plan that we've adopted and is current. So after the rezone, if that would be approved, they are looking to get approval of the preliminary and final plat, consisting of 1 lot. Rob, if you could go to the next slide, please. You see there lot 1 of block 1 in outlot A, so they're splitting this. Outlot A is for future development that's to be identified and final platted at that time. Lot 1 of block 1 is approximately 1.46 acres. One of the comments that is pretty important, upon submittal, we sent this to Stearns County for their review. They are not allowing direct access onto County Road 120, so the access for this property will be basically via frontage road through outlot A to get to access to lot 1 of block 1, and that will be off Leander as well. We are working through some staff comments. They did submit a site plan review at the same time as the plat and rezone, and specifically some of those comments are regarding fire comments and access that way. We are looking at and hopefully getting approval of a secondary emergency access only off of Leander with bollards or a gate, whatever is provided. And like I stated earlier, this is subject to our standard development fees, which are covered up to $22,000. You can see that in the memo there. The total that comes to for the Lot 1, Block 1 is $21,719.90, which will come out of our Economic Development Fund. They are working shortly with their civil engineers to resubmit their revised preliminary and final plat and their site plans for further comments from the city, but hopefully resolving those outstanding comments. But specifically for the preliminary and final plat is what we're reviewing and approving today. With that, I would take any questions that you may have and then open up the public hearing for both the rezone, preliminary, and final plat.
Council, any questions before we open the public hearing? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to testify on the rezone, preliminary, and final plat of O2B childcare? Please step forward. Second call, anyone wishing to testify, please step forward. Third and final call, anyone wishing to testify on the rezone, preliminary, and final plat of O2B childcare? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Council, any thoughts, questions? Otherwise, we would need a motion.
And if I could just clarify, I'll take one motion for the rezone and then a separate motion for the preliminary and final plat to just separate them.
Okay.
But the rezone would be first.
Council, I'll look for a motion on the rezone.
I'll make a motion to approve the rezone.
We have a motion to approve the rezone. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Rezone carries. I would then look for a motion on the preliminary and final plat.
I'll make a motion to approve the preliminary and final plat.
There's a motion to approve the preliminary and final plat. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries as well. On to delinquent accounts.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Just want to make sure this changes, which it's not, sorry. It should be camera. Anyway, tonight we're looking to certify 14 residential unpaid water bills, 4 mooring charges, 2 long grass citations, 2 watering citations, 2 administrative citations, and 1 non-compliant sign, totaling just under $30,000. We request that this be a 1-year assessment at an interest rate of 8%, which would be consistent with prior year delinquent assessments. Residents will have until noon on November 30th to make payment in full without any additional interest. And after that date, we will send it to the county for certification, so those outstanding payments will be paid with their 2024 property tax payment. So I'd be happy to answer any additional questions at this time.
Council, any questions before we open the public hearing? Rob, quick question I had was, I heard a list of different fees that were being applied on this one. Is that normal? Have we done that in the years past, or, I know water bill is always or seemed like it had always been a consistent one.
Yeah, and looking in the past resolutions and council memos for delinquent assessments, they didn't include the parcel number or resident name, probably out of privacy, so I just kept suit with how they did it in previous years this year. If you're looking for that list, I think I could provide it to you.
Wasn't, I guess, sorry, maybe to rephrase that, I heard watering citation or others.
Sure.
Is that something we have normally gone this route to certify on property taxes, or is there a different means we've historically done?
Yeah, we could also look at revenue recapture. We use the two tools to collect unbilled fees in different ways. If we assess it to the property taxes, if they're a resident of Sartell, it's a more quick and efficient way for us to collect on those
Okay.
fees. Revenue recapture would be, it's commonly used for parking tickets, or for those residents who happen to get a citation or ticket while they're in town. We're able to certify it to the state, so when they get their tax refund, we can then take
Okay,
the portion that we had requested to pay those bills. So, yeah, a couple of methods we could use, but in this case, since they're all residents of Sartell, wanted to.
yep,
Go
makes
with
sense.
property tax.
Thank you. Council, any other questions on that before we open the public hearing? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to testify on delinquent accounts, please step forward. Second call, anyone wishing to testify on the delinquent accounts? Third and final call, anyone wishing to testify on the delinquent accounts? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. Council, any other questions or thoughts? Seeing none, I would look for a motion on delinquent accounts.
I'll make a motion on delinquent accounts.
We have a motion to approve the delinquent accounts. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. We have no new business or old business. We'll move to department reports. Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. You have my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Public Works or engineering? Watering ban, watering stipulations.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly could come off. I mean, if we wanted to. I don't know if it, if it warrants right now to take it off, as long as everybody's blowing their sprinkler systems out, but we could go. I mean, our flows are way down. We have a tower out of service right now, so it, hopefully we're gonna fill it tomorrow, so it makes kind of sense to leave it off at this point with the tower down. So,
I guess my only thought is if we have it in place and then we get a complaint, are we going to,
pretty much haven't had any complaints in a month, so I'm not too worried, Certainly up to you if you wanna go back to our odd even, it really.
yeah, I guess I'm indifferent, just clarity's sake is the only reason I bring it up, but if, most people are blowing out their sprinklers, then it probably doesn't matter, we can let it sunset for the season.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but if you have another, it doesn't, if you guys are strong feeling, let's get rid of it, we certainly can do that too.
Anyone have a strong feeling? Any other questions for Public Works? Thanks.
Thank you.
Fire.
Mayor, members of council, you have our monthly report. The only thing I'd like to highlight is Thursday night, we have our open house at the fire or public safety facility from 4 to 7. Happy to see anybody that's available to join us. Probably be a little bit dialed back if we end up getting the weather. Just kind of watching what's going to happen, whether that's going to hit Thursday or Friday. But any questions, happy to answer them.
Any questions for fire? Thank you. Police.
Mayor, members of the council, you have my monthly report. Just two quick things to highlight. One, kind of on the SRO program, just a quick story about the impact of that program. We had a criminal case recently that involved one of our students, and I actually got roped into this myself and interviewing some people as well as some other. I spent hours trying to figure this case out. our SRO, one of them walked into the police department, recognized the person sitting in the interview room, and had a full confession within 30 seconds of walking in that room because that officer was that tied into that person. So just a cool marker for how important that program is. Secondly, I was roped in by the high schoolers to hold a sign up at Friday night's game saying cheer or be arrested. And I just wanted to know that the touchdown they scored came right after that. So whatever correlation you want to draw.
That was also the reason you had to shave, so you fit in there a little?
Yeah, I look like one of them now.
Yeah. Thank you. Any questions for police? Thank you. City commission updates.
None at this time.
City council updates. Tim.
Nothing tonight?
Jill.
Nothing tonight.
Alex.
I would vouch for Chief that his story is accurate.
Jed.
Nothing tonight.
I was gonna mention the open house, fire department open house, always a fun time. I know they've got a lot planned, a lot of vendors coming in as well, or partner agencies would probably be a better term. So stop out there. Otherwise, I have nothing to add as well. I will look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.